Good afternoon. It's September 25th, 2023, and as you can see, we had a range day today. Uh, Not really much, not a lot of high probability trades. I haven't checked out this stuff yet. That looks pretty good right there. But even that is aggressive because, we were just in this range, even though when you break out of a range, its validity seems to like shrink, but you can see the midline getting tested a few times. So anyway, we'll get there. So in the overnight, we had this huge sell-off, and then we corrected a little bit, tested this midline, or what I believe to be the midline of the range a few times before going lower. And 5 o'clock comes in, I think, during this. Okay, no, 5 o'clock comes in during this congestion right here. So we form that top. Now we have a break of this channel and a move to a new low. But you get a second entry short and a double test, and it doesn't break higher, so that makes it a little more aggressive. That's such a bearish bar. I just liked it to test the lows, and it goes a little bit further before it comes back and reverses, and that's just a failed breakout. But that's why you want to be careful after this break and move to a new low. So anyway, prices shoot through the EMA, bounce, go a little higher before they sell off one more time, and you get this double bottom, first entry, failed second entry short. That's a second entry long as well. I think my trend line would have been, this is how my trend line would have been. So this is off the trend line. So that's a good entry. And, it's in the spot that you're looking for a reversal. So you would have gotten a runner here. And I would have rode it to the midline. And 48. That's big, man. That's a 12-point runner. So I don't see any other way to enter this. This is a second entry long, but you're going into swing highs, and there's some dojis in there. And the signal bar itself is a doji, so I'm not taking that. That looks like a second entry long. But you're in no man's land. We go higher, hit the top of the channel, and then we sell off. And so now we're below the EMA. It pushes up one more time. You get a second entry short, very bearish signal bar. Confirms this trend line. I like that. There's plenty of room back to the EMA. And then we overshoot this channel and make our way toward a break. You can see we form this range here, and you get a break, and that is a second entry short. So I have to mark that, but I'm marking it green because you could get trapped there. It could make another leg up. Not crazy about this one, but it turns out a lot of people liked it. And then, so we have the break, move to a new low, and it reverses strongly. And so you get this huge breakout. And so you might want to draw a measured move. And I probably in real time would have it closer to something like this because of the pullback. But you can see that's where people took profits. And some people probably just put their midline right here and had this as a target. And yeah, you can see that. People took profits, a lot of profits right here. And so these are things you want to keep an eye out for. It looks a little steeper. To me, it looks like this is the channel. So we go sideways here. I don't like any entries in this stuff, unfortunately, but you can see eventually it looks like we get maybe like a double test and it breaks out to the high side. Makes a new high, and then we go sideways a little bit more, and then we get another breakout to the high side. So that's 2 legs up to a new high before it reverses. You get a first entry, failed second entry long. You might consider this. I'd be a little worried because I'd be waiting for it to test these highs, but it's a very bearish signal bar, and I don't know, you might consider it. We just haven't had a lot of selling yet. A lot of strong selling, I mean, so I think it's a little early. Breakout, pull back, test the EMA, it fails, comes down here. And honestly, you might take this one. It's not a second entry. I mean, we're making lower highs, but if you put what I did, because this was the breakout, is I put the midline here. I think in real time I had it like, no, I would have had it there because that's where it starts to pull back. And so when it comes down here, gives you that super bullish signal bar with room back to the EMA. This is a range day one. We haven't hit the highs. That's another factor to consider. So in real time, I was considering that. Here you get a trap. Like I think it's a 4-tick trap, but to me this looks like a range. So you get a first entry, second entry, but also you have an inside bar right there. And these bull bars look very strong. These bear bars do not, except for the signal bar. So that's what could have kept you out of that. I think it's a 4-tick trap. 66. Yeah. They trap those guys out. We make a lower high compared to this. Sells off. Again, we get that. Now we have a double test and a bullish signal bar at this low. Maybe you take that one. Room back to the EMA. It's a matching low. And then that fails, and I wouldn't be trying to go long after that. I don't think you want to take the second entry short because to me, I was playing this range, and then it shoots back up, and we make another lower high. So maybe after that lower high again, maybe you take this first entry, failed second entry, because at that point, I mean, you know, it looks like we're in a range with a downward bias. Then we bounce, come higher, and make another lower high, and you get a first entry, failed second entry. Again, maybe you take that, and that ends up being a pretty good move. Not sure if you would have rode this stuff out, though. Breaks out to the low side, fails, rockets up, finds some resistance at the midline, comes back, tests the low, bounces, first entry, failed second entry short. Maybe you consider that one, but you're going right into that midline, so not the greatest idea. And here we have a second entry long, but again, we're in this range. So that's how I saw it today. Again, I'm still having problems with my data for the daily chart, so I can't pull that up, or it's just kind of been keeping me from pulling it up. So I hope everyone had a good day. I'll be back tomorrow.